Hello, sorry, and good afternoon. Ben Raven here, back at the home base on the Detroit Lions beat. Kyle is on the ground in Baltimore. Lions lose 38-6 in an absolutely just, ugly day across the board. Ugly day for the offense. A very ugly day for a defense that have been playing at a high level. And yeah, it's kind of like what we've been writing about over at mlive.com/Lions all week. That's a new look Ravens offense. They're asking Lamar Jackson to be a quarterback, and it turns out that he's a pretty darn good quarterback because that was an impressive showing from the former MVP. I mean, he was humming, and they put the game away early. I mean, you go into the half down 28-0. You don't score on the first drive out of the half, and then you give up a 4-play, 94-yard scoring drive highlighted by an 80-yard catch by the thundering, bruising running back Gus Edwards. I mean, just a dreadful, dreadful day. I think it was 21-0 before the Lions had their first down in the game. It might have already been 28-0 when they had their first down of the game, but there's nothing really good to talk about here. I mean, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously, at least with the rookie, you can be like, all right, I see the vision here moving forward. There's new ways to get this guy the ball. He was good in the passing game. It was nice to see him get involved there. But like that's where the positivity stops, because penalties hurt this group, missed opportunities hurt this group, sloppy execution hurt this group, and just kind of the defense looked lost. The defense looked like they didn't know what they were preparing to face here. I'm not low on Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn has done a pretty impressive job overall with what he's had on defense. Tough day today. The Lions, they looked like they weren't prepared for this, though, because what the Ravens are going to do. They're going to run those RPO, read, pass, option looks with Lamar. And I mean, I have a hard time just completely dogging the Lions. They lost 38-6. It was an embarrassing loss. They looked absolutely lifeless on both sides of the ball for 60 minutes. But sometimes an MVP plays like an MVP. A game breaker like Lamar Jackson plays to his best ability. And that's what happened today. And that's not me giving the Lions any slack. Lamar runs 9 times, 36 yards. His touchdown comes on 4th and 1. I think it was the first or second score of the game, but 21-27 passing, 357 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's a pretty special player, and he was playing his absolute best in that new offense led by offensive coordinator Todd Monken, came over from Georgia. But man, yeah, tough day for the defense, an absolutely tough day for the defense. Penalties across the board, like I said. I think about the Penei Sewell, the 2 holdings on that drive to end the first half. The one comes on 4th and 15 or 4th and 19 or whatever it was when the Lions convert. And then there was the roughing the passer penalty on Hutchinson. Obviously recovers the fumble on the next snap, but there was just some tough breaks here. And, you just, like I said, I just have a hard time completely bashing them. Like, it was an ugly, ugly day. I mean, I can more easily almost bash the offense, because what the offense did in the first half was just disgusting. You opened with 3 3-and-outs. You absolutely so no signs of life. The first drive goes absolutely nowhere. No yards, 3-and-out. Next drive, 6 yards, 3-and-out. Next drive, 7 yards, 3-and-out. Like I said, it was 21-0 by the time they got their first down of the day. And even when they got down there, they couldn't convert. Penei's penalty obviously spoiled that last drive before the half. But gosh, it just, Jahmyr Gibbs ends up running 11 times for 68 yards. St. Brown quietly at 100 yards receiving, but I guess that's what happens when you're down by 1 million touchdowns the whole game. Goff finishes 33 of 53, throws an interception, no touchdowns, 284 yards on the day. But yeah, it's just what the Ravens were able to do to the Lions at one point. I think it was something like 222 yards to 6 yards at one point. I mean, it's just the Ravens took their foot off the gas there in the second half, so the team stats are a little more evened out. But this was just one of the more dominating first half performances that I've seen in quite a bit. And I mean, yeah, not having Montgomery stinks, but, the defense just putting the offense in an immediate hole like that. And when you combine just bang, 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 3 scoring drives, 3 possessions, combined with 3 possessions and 3 3-and-outs, I mean, that's the story of the game right there. You can't start that slow on both sides of the ball against a team like the Ravens. I mean, this was a division-leading team. The Ravens had won some ugly games in recent weeks, but I think you saw why people remain high on them, because when Lamar Jackson is playing like that, when he's executing at that high of a level in those zone read looks, they're tough to beat. They're really tough to beat. And I mean, that's a good defense too. I mean, Jared Goff was facing pressure, it seemed like, all game long. I mean, he took, let's see here, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterback hits. He was sacked 5 times. This, like I said, just absolutely just tough game. Every phase, every phase, even the coaching, because I mean, some of those play designs, when it's 3rd and inches and then it's 4th and inches and they don't run the ball once. I know Montgomery's not there, but like, I don't know. There were just a lot of things I disagreed with today. And like, it's so hard to harp on anything because it was so bad across the board. It was so unlike the team that we've seen for the first, 6 games of the season? Yeah, before this one. So, I don't know. They're back. They get an extra day of rest next week. Hosting the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. Jimmy Garoppolo is expected back for the Raiders per national report today, but the Raiders are looking pretty bad. I mean, if you're looking to look ahead with optimism, the Lions have a pretty easy schedule. I think there are no teams with a winning record left on their schedule, I believe. It's at least what the Fox broadcast was saying. Let me double check that fact real quick. Yeah, what are the Cowboys? Yeah, they're 4-2. Exactly. But the Raiders are up next. Garoppolo's going to be back. But the Raiders lost 30-12 to the Bears today, who were starting Tyson Bagent. So that's pretty ugly right there. That's pretty ugly. It's the Raiders at home on Monday Night Football. And then it's the bye week. And then Los Angeles Chargers on the road after that. Obviously, that's a interesting game. The Chargers are one of the more roller coaster rides the NFL has to offer. But looks like Dan Campbell is starting his press conferences, so that means I need to get to my other work. Thank you guys for checking the video out. Brutal day today. I hope you didn't sit and watch all that one, Cider Mill, beautiful day outside. There's still time left to salvage the day, but the Lions lose 38-6. They dropped to 5-2 on the season. The Ravens are up to 5-2 on the season. The Lions are still in cruise control, leading the NFC North. But the Raiders are up next. The Raiders are up next. Monday Night Football next week, and then it's the bye week. Hey, this team can pat themselves on the back if they're 6-2, leading the division with that much gumption at the bye week. Obviously, a brutal one today. Check any comments. What have we got? Questions? Yeah, Jameson Williams, obviously tough break to end the game there. Gosh, people thought I was trying to bury him on Twitter when that ball smacked him in the face at the end of the game. I mean, he obviously got swiped early by the defender there. Surprised there wasn't a call. I think everybody was just trying to go home, but then he drops another should have been touchdown. He just, I think that's what we talk about, JMO, when we say there's a dependability issue between him and the coordinators, him and the quarterback. They trust him. They're working with him. They're trying to get better, but like he really struggles to track the ball. And that's what you're seeing. I mean, he had that heck of a play last week tracking the ball, but then you saw what we've been seeing in practice and what we saw in training camp and all that. Listen, kid's got an unbelievably high ceiling. You see the speed, you see all of that, but just there's some refinement. He's not at the level that should be expected of the 12th overall pick. That's not me burying him, but he's got work to do. The skills are there. The natural skills and ability are there, but it's hard to get Jameson Williams more snaps and more targets when you've got guys playing like Josh Reynolds who are dependable, when you've got an Amon-Ra St. Brown, when you've got a Laporta, when you've got a Gibbs. I mean, yeah, he's going to get his looks because that's a special ability that he has. But right now, it's tough to count on him. It's 3rd and 9. You got a guy like St. Brown. You got Reynolds. You got Laporta. Who's Goff going to trust? Who should Goff trust? Exactly. It's hard to trust J-Mo in those situations. It still needs to put it together. The skills are there. I'm not out on him, but I just think expectations just should be continued to be grounded, both internally, externally, fan-wise, fantasy-wise. I mean, this is the clear number 4 wide receiver, and it's going to be that way for a bit. On that note, the Lions lose 38-6. Ugly one in Baltimore. Monday Night Football next week at home and against the Las Vegas Raiders. Prime opportunity to bounce back. Ford Field will be a bonanza that day. Going to be a good time. I'm going to get to work here. Check out mlive.com/Lions. Got the Dungeon of Doom Insider text, and we are going to record a podcast here this evening too. I'm sure that's going to be a great, optimistic, fun time, but we'll see you then.